Welcome back. So since I was doing a best search baits, I thought, what, let's do a top 5 colors that I like to use, and top 5 colors that have worked extremely well for me so far this year. We're in the end of July right now, and I just wanted to go through the top 5 colors that have worked best for me. And at the end of the video, I want you to comment below if you agree with me on the top 5 colors, first of all. If not, what colors worked best for you this year? Because I like trying new baits, I like hearing from you, and I like trying new stuff. So let's just start it off. Number 1, I think hands down, I don't think anybody's gonna disagree with me on this. Number one color, Chartreuse. Varying forms of Chartreuse. Both the single color Chartreuse and two-toned. In the tube, the black and Chartreuse, something that's been a go-to bait, and also a black and Chartreuse swim bait style. Chartreuse has been one of the main colors I've used all spring. You saw it in the bed fishing video, multiple bed fishing videos I did. Some really great underwater footage showing these crappie coming up and hitting. Actually, it was this exact one, well, not this exact one, but this style, this black and Chartreuse scent ring. The reason I was using a black and Chartreuse for most of the spring instead of a solid color was because the black and Chartreuse kind of covers the full end of the spectrum, right? So if the water's clearer, these lighter colors like Chartreuse will show up better. But if this water is a little dingy, a little murky, stained, these darker colors, they'll actually show a better outline of the bait. So by using both of them, a dark and a light color, like this black and Chartreuse, you're covering the whole range, the whole palette that you possibly could. And it worked really well during the springtime. I'd throw it underneath the bobber, throw this right on top of the crappie bed, and the bobber went down pretty much every time, as you saw in the videos. Another reason to use the black and Chartreuse, or a dark and a light, is in very low light conditions. So early in the morning or right at dusk, the crappie might be transitioning from, especially if it's a clear lake, transitioning from seeing these lighter colored baits like the Chartreuse to wanting to be able to see the actual profile of the bait. So you need a darker color like black. It's another reason why I used this black and Chartreuse. But Chartreuse, by far, Chartreuse in anything, red, blues, pinks, Chartreuse worked great overall. So that's my number 1 pick, number 1 color for catching crappie. Now color number 2, I've used it quite a bit, but not as much as the pure Chartreuse. Now this is a pink and Chartreuse, but the second color is pink. Now I know I'm probably going to get some debate that pink is number 1 color that a lot of guys use. Pink and Chartreuse combo, especially on clear water, it's deadly. It really is. The other time to use this is sunny skies and when it's really calm water. So even if the water's a little stained, if it's really calm and sunny skies, brighter color combo like this, a two-toned pink and Chartreuse, probably the second go-to bait that I use for crappie. But this is a hackle jig right here, pink and Chartreuse. This is something that I actually used quite a bit for smallmouth fishing this spring when these smallmouth were on bed. Now, pink and Chartreuse and black and Chartreuse, these hackle jigs and also marabou jigs, a couple hand-tied marabou jigs I used for a smallmouth video I did. These worked extremely well. So not just the tubes, any type of bait. If these are crankbaits, if these are marabou jigs, hackle jigs like these, Chartreuse is number 1. Pink is my second choice for color pattern to grab of any type of bait. Now color number 3, and this was kind of close because it combos with another color that I really like. But the number 3 color is red. That guy right there. Now this is a red and white scent ring right here. Or, I'm sorry, this is a red and Chartreuse scent ring tube. But red and white, black and red actually was decent for me this year. Red and Chartreuse and red and white though were the 2 colors. Actually number 4, the color number 4 is white, but we'll get into that in a second. Red has been great because it's the kind of the in-between a really dark color like a black, a brown, a blue, or a navy blue, and that really light color, a white, a Chartreuse, a hot pink. It profiles really well in darker water or when it's really cloud cover days, water's broken up. but it's light enough to see in extremely clear water and it's sunny days. So it's kind of that happy medium that worked out really well during specific times. When the black and chartreuse, for whatever reason, maybe they were seeing it too much, maybe there was too much pressure on that lake, and they were seeing a lot of black and chartreuse jigs, or a lot of pink and chartreuse, or white or something like that. I switched it up to the red, and it just seemed to work. That's why it's my number 3. It works sometimes, but it didn't work all the time. It didn't work as well as when I throw pink or chartreuse in general. So like I mentioned, number 4 is the white. Now this was a close tie with the red, but the white is so good because it mimics the belly of a bait fish. So like these ones right here, these GULP minnows, they got a white belly and black, kind of a shad pattern. So throwing these white tubes like this really mimics an actual bait fish. This is actually one I used quite a bit. It's actually a white and chartreuse. The lake I'm on right now is really clear water, so white and chartreuse, especially if it's a sunny day like that. Like today, I know I'm in the shade right now because it's really hot out. But on a sunny day like today, it's fairly calm. There's not a lot of wind. White and chartreuse has been really well. If black and chartreuse or the pink don't work, white and chartreuse is probably the next step. So like I was talking about, the white being a shad color. So this is the belly of the Arky 220 that I was using for the micro crankbait video, and I talked about it in the best search baits for crappie video. But this is the reason why I like white so much, especially in clear water. These lighter colors, they go so well with these lighter colors, but they look like the belly of a bait fish. And I think that's one of the main reasons white is a really good color for crappie, is because it tends to mimic the bait fish that are swimming in that body of water. Now color number 5 really doesn't get a whole lot of love from a lot of people, but that color is blue. This guy right here, I got her tied onto a 1/16 ounce jig right here. Now this is a blue and white jig, but blue doesn't get a whole lot of love from the crappie fishing world. I don't know why, because blue and white, it's a bluegill combination. There's quite a lot of bait fish that have that blue and white tint to them. And blue is a darker color, which means it shows up a little bit better in that murky or stained water, or on cloud covered days. Maybe there's a little bit of wind, that sunlight's not penetrating the lake. This blue color will stand out a lot better than you'd think. Maybe not as good as a black will when you're throwing black and chartreuse, but you know, it works just the same. And honestly, blue's been a great pattern for when I'm throwing beetle spins. So blue's been actually a great pattern when I team it up to a beetle spin, or even those chatterbaits those micro chatterbaits that I've been talking about in that best search baits video. Blue's actually been working out fairly well because it mimics. There's quite a bit of bait fish that have kind of this color pattern. It mimics them. Looks like a running bait fish, especially when you throw it on a beetle spin, throw a blade on it. There's a little bit of chop in the water. The water's a little stained. This definitely works in darker water. Now, depending on the shade of blue, this is a little bit of a lighter blue, but there's some darker navy blues that really work great when that water turns a little murky, or there's some waves, or there's some cloud cover. So before we wrap this video up, I want to mention one important thing. These might be my top 5 colors, my go-to colors when I hit the water, but sometimes crappie, they want to see something different, whether it's because of frontal systems that move through, maybe it's really stained water, there's wind that day, there's sun, no sun, cloud cover, or it could just be the crappie pressure, or it could be fishing pressure. A lot of these lakes that are closer to the urban areas, people throw the same baits, black and chartreuse, pink and chartreuse. Crappie sometimes they just don't want, they see it and they don't want it anymore. So it's important to kind of switch it up to maybe colors you don't normally use. That might be your yellow, your brown, your orange, just different color patterns you might need to try, because sometimes these baits don't work for whatever reason. Also, I don't always start with my number 1 bait. That would be the chartreuse, and most likely a black and chartreuse. I don't always start with that bait. You got to take a look at the water you're fishing, take a look at the day, and kind of give your best guess of what these fish might want to see first. If it's a little choppy, if it's really dirty water, versus if it's calm water and clear, you know, I might start with a red and white versus a black and chartreuse, or I might start with a blue and white versus a pink and chartreuse. That's going to be your call when you hit the water. I don't always start with my number 1 and then work to my number 5. It doesn't work like that. It just, if you were to ask me the top 5 colors to pick, here, these are what they are. But as always, I want to know what you think. Did I get the colors wrong? Maybe the order's wrong. Maybe I forgot a color. Do you disagree with me about on the blue color? I got a feeling the blue color at number 5 may not sit the best for some of you, but let me know in the comments below if they're out of order, if you think they're out of order, or if you think I missed a color. That's what I want to know in the comment section below. And again, if you like these top 5 or best fishing lures for crappie videos, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. That thumbs up, more thumbs up, means you want to see more videos like this one. If you're not a subscriber, below the video down here, there's a red, down there somewhere, there's a red subscribe button. You can click that to subscribe. Also, be sure to click that bell. That bell actually notifies you every time I post a video. So you got to click the bell to make sure you get notified every time I post a video just like this one. And if that doesn't work for you, you can click my face at the end of the video to subscribe. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to comment if you think I got anything wrong. I'm going to be putting out a lot more crappie fishing videos, or actually fishing videos, instead of these lures coming up after this. But if I see these videos get a lot of likes, I'll definitely keep doing stuff like this. All right, we'll see ya.